Welcome out, gamers and gameettes. We are here bringing you the RGL Invite semi-finals match happening between Irene and Apollo Dash. I am Aldo, joined to my side by Sigafu, Dolphin behind the camera as always, and we're really excited to bring you this match. Sig, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. My second Highlander cast of the season, but looks like I jumped in at just the right time to be able to get a great one.
Yeah, definitely. We should have a really exciting match tonight. We have Apollo Dash coming in from, I guess, taking the upset last week, you could say, over Fast Forward. Apollo Dash coming in as that 4 seed into the gauntlet with Fast Forward being 3, Irene, of course, then being 2. Definitely, I think that definitely puts Apollo Dash at a bit of an underdog tonight. But, you know, they already proved it once against Fast Forward. They've proven that they can have close games against the top teams earlier in the season, so I think they have no reason to hold anything back, play with their hearts out, and try to pull out the win.
I enjoy that you say like a bit of an underdog, but they really are like a pretty sizable disad here. At least if you look at the season numbers, obviously they had a great game against Fast Forward, and I've been practicing and scrimmaging against them during the week. But Irene, that's a team with a lot of big names on it. Irene actually was only 0.3 points away from getting in first place compared to Apollo Dash, where they're 10 points behind Irene from the regular season. So as much as I think people should really understand, like, this is definitely going to be an uphill fight for Apollo Dash. They can do it. We're playing some interesting maps tonight. We're starting off with Steele, going to Lakeside, and then finishing on Upward. Steele is interesting that Irene chose that. Because it seems a map that would be one of those ones where you can have an upset where maybe if your DM doesn't match up, but you can play smarter, you can have something great happen. Do you know any of the reasons behind, or can you speculate on why Irene would have taken Steele to start out tonight's game?
I guess my theory behind it is that, well, just to kind of start things off with the pick ban, we did have AD banning Cascade, which made sense. They got rolled by Irene on it pretty hard in week 9. Then Irene banned Product, which is a little bit interesting, but I think the Steele pick came out probably because, Irene hasn't actually played a beta bye week that week, but Apollo Dash played Fast Forward on it in week 10 and lost 2-0 pretty handily to them. Apollo Dash then went on to beat that same Fast Forward pretty handily themselves the week after that. So my guess is that, well, if they're better than Fast Forward on most maps, but they still got rolled by them on Steele, then they're probably bad at Steele, so we should be able to beat them. Seems like a logical answer, I guess, if you believe the whole transitive theory of teams thing, which generally doesn't work out, but I don't know. It definitely is an interesting pick for a first map. Maybe you could see that kind of reasoning playing into like a third map pick, if you're not too sure of what to choose. But yeah, Steele first, definitely odd, but it does look like we will have teams readying up. So we'll have to see how that pick works out.
Yeah, and Irene was a team. The first Apollo Dash banned Cascade, as you mentioned, for the reasons above, and then interesting, Irene banned Viaduct, which is, I just think, interesting as well, because that tends to be a fairly DM heavy map, obviously being a Koth map, and they beat Apollo Dash on a Koth map on Cascade. So they must just not be very confident on that map. So we'll be starting out, as you said, on Steele. Interestingly, too, Irene is choosing to start on offense here. So they must have a lot of confidence starting their offense, because typically the team that's home, they want to choose defense because it's better to, be defending first so you know what time you're working against so you can make adjustments. But I guess on Steele, looks like Irene's going to be taking the offense, and we'll see how they want to start this off.
Yeah, Steele definitely one of those maps infamous for, oh, we capped in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, nothing can go wrong as you proceed to get capped in 2.5 minutes. So, having that timer to kind of guide your pushes is really nice. But yeah, it does look like AD is going to have the benefit of starting on defense. Shay going to snipe out Carson, and Feint going to go down to those crit sticky deaths as the first 2 kills of the match. But, Steele, normally we do see that kind of throwaway on A. So Irene is going to come in and take that. Not as many people in the point initially as I would have liked to have seen, get that extra 10, 15 seconds maybe just by having a lot of people rush it. But they will take it in pretty short order, and we'll have to see what they do from here.
Yeah, no level 3 gun shenanigans coming out from Jordan. Madringi is sitting out on that A point, giving intel about where they're going, as Feint is slowly walking his way up. No, he got spotted, that random span from Ronnie J. But this is where you have to break the hold of B. They're going to send the Bonk Scout up into the stairwell. He's going to go through, taking any of the damage coming in. Carson's coming in behind, gets some damage down, but he's going to get pushed back out. Danny gets taken down, and the stairwell is still being held. That's a very important point on this B, is if you can hold that stairwell, you're going to really stop them from getting in. But the gun goes down, and here comes up the Ubercharge. It's going to be Art's going to be trying to defend this, but the blue side's going to get the better of it as Ronnie J goes down, so they're going to have the ability to drop down onto wall if they want to.
Yeah, Boar hitting that headshot in such close quarters is really big. River's actually going to take the telly, goes in on Carson and does enough damage for Arts to take him down from long range. Boar, it looks like, was kind of forced out there, but with so many players going down in that, this should be a B cap coming in for Irene. Apollo Dash, Wall, and Art's just gonna have to run for it. Speedy was making some distractions over on the E point as well. Got the cap time up decently high on that, so pulled some attention over there. But yeah, ultimately just really good push by Irene there. Coming out, gonna be able to take out that heavy sitting and upper, such a key, position to hold. Then they just, they get a bunch of other frags and they're able to force the combo out, get the point without any of those kind of after push shenanigans where you have someone coming in through the window killing a med, or a spy stabbing your med, or something else killing your med that you see happen often on B. So.
And now we see, it looks like the blue side is good. Well, you kind of start to get to the point where now you're kind of doing two things at once. Right now you see the offense are trying to take over Wishbone. At the exact same time, they're getting a little bit of capture time onto that E point. Spy is going to get pushed down into the pit. The sacrifice has been made, but now the Devilman, he's committing to the E point. The Devilman's covering the spawn door, so we'll see how Arts is going to respond. The Ubercharge is going to come out for the red side. Going to be a little bit better for blue, about 50%. As Speedy's going to jump through, get some damage down, but will be enough. Wall goes down to half HP, but with a sandwich, she'll go back up. That E point is going to continue to be captured by Speedy. And Ronnie J gets up onto the high cliffside, takes down Jordan in a surprise. But so far, kind of a weird defense coming out here from Apollo Dash, but holding on well enough. But they need to contest this E point, and Delman goes down. That's a big pick.
Yeah, definitely. Carson's going to take out Ronnie, too. He is on a warpath right now, pushing into C. They have their gun there, which, is great that they're holding C, but E's getting captured. They're going to need to send someone over there. Speedy in a really good position, taking control of Heaven, really helping to deny that E spawn. Once a soldier gets in there, it's really hard to get him out. Jarrett going to jump over, too, get some stickies on that shutter, and Kath's just going in, and it looks like Apollo Dash is just getting out-rotated and outplayed, as Banny's gonna be eventually trying to get shot off, but no, he's gonna take out Deb, jumping him, and Banny caps at about 30 HP left in 3 minutes and 15 seconds, so we may have been doubting that Steele pick, but Irene definitely making it work, as they get a blazing fast time to open this split at BO3.
Yeah, and what happened there is what happens beyond just like that they lost their combo members, inside of Wishbone, the big thing for the E point when you're trying to defend it there is you need to make sure that you have your flank in really good presence, and if your flank goes down, then you just need to give up C at some point, and you just need to go for a full E defense, because if you don't, that's exactly what happens right there. If your flank dies and nobody can pressure you whatsoever, it's just, there's pretty much nothing you can do. Like, I think in almost some circumstances, it's better just to rotate your combo through, have your combo defend E from like lobby, and then have your flank defend C, because I'd rather lose C and get another 2 minutes on the clock than have that happen. But as you said, it's a fast time to work against. The downside now is that Froyo Tech can play very, very conservatively here. So if they're in the exact same situation, they can now go for that C defense. But here we go, Apollo Dash walking out the gates on blue.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind, I guess, is that we actually see a couple of Irene players just maybe getting some, courtesy damage onto the cappers on A there. Is that spawn times on Steele are a little bit longer than on other maps, where if a defender gets a really bad spawn wipe, he can be down for 26 seconds, I believe, at the max, maybe 27. Mm-hmm. The max cap time on E with ×5 is only 30 seconds, so, Steele's one of those maps where once you get B, if the red combo wipes, it is totally reasonable for blue to actually pull off a cap. And it looks like with the level 3 up in, moving into lobby, Wall and everyone else out on A, Apollo Dash is going to try to do an AE push, or at the very least distract enough, maybe get a B cap coming in. No one even near B even. This may be a hard commit. Gun's gonna come up in lobby. Gonna have to see if they can get any presence on E right now. See if they can take that contested Wishbone area before we get the gun moved in there. That can really stifle teams, but it looks like they're not making too much ground right now.
Yeah, Banny took down the engineer when they're transporting over there, and so that's going to stifle it. But here they go. They rotated back through drop down. The gun is still up, but there's nobody with it. They actually don't see the sentry gun. Yes, they will finally get that taken out, but the offense will be able to contest here. Ubercharge will be up on either side. It's going to be... No, I'm sorry. Wall finally does pop. It does drop the pyro in the process, but will be about a 30% better Ubercharge. Now the question is, can they lock down Jared and company as Carson's going into the upper area?
Yeah, big snipe out of 4 onto R. It's going to help. Carson going down the right in exchange. Shay equaling out that frag. B looks like it may be secure. Ronnie a little bit hurt on point. Still getting those arrows though. Jared and Billy doing their best to try to stall this. Gonna air blast them off the point. Hits that gravity cannon air blast to just stall the cap time. And with such little, amounts of time on the clock, those extra 5 seconds or so he may have just earned could end up being big. There will be a cap coming in, but the Irene defenders were able to stall it enough to get the rest of their combo spawning. So now with only 1 minute and 10 seconds, AD is pretty much forced to go into E.
Honestly, I would go C right now. They currently don't have Jared down for another 10 seconds. I would just go straight for a C push here. I mean, you want to do both. You want to get some both capture time. But getting C gets those gates, or the walkways up to that E point, making it a little bit easier. Versus you can see all of Red is currently setting up onto that E point, and their indecisiveness has just lost that time. Pablo's going to die trying to jump onto the point, and yeah, I mean, now with the full defense coming up onto this E point, they don't have a chance. Here comes out the Ubercharge. Wonky Ubercharge. I don't know what the heck they were trying to think they were going to get with this. We're going to see Dev jump over the top. He gets taken down. Carson's going to be like a sentry gun taking down the pyro onto the point. Ronnie goes down. And yeah, I mean, you just wish they had more time. But again, it's like one of these things where it's like they can just take C, and that opens up so many more possibilities for what they're going to do. And let your flank do some work, because you're not going to win that battle from Wishbone.
I mean, I guess not, but at the same time, if you only have 1 minute and 10 seconds, how many players can you really commit to C? Even if you do get C, though, if you get C and you have 40 seconds left, the chances of you then being able to pull out E from there, definitely slight. But yeah,
definitely would have been tight other way. Yeah.
Irene gonna take this first half, putting up a really solid time. Here, already up sound immediately, I think, and yeah, both teams just gonna go back at it. Maybe AD just saying, look, we're out of our comfort zone here. No, it looks like maybe they're gonna talk about it a little more, which is good, because I want to analyze what little 6 minutes of playtime we have to go off of there.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you look at logs that are this low, they're almost meaningless, because it's like, someone had like a good 30 seconds and suddenly their logs are like, twice as good, right? You pick up a 3K. When the top frag is 7, right? It's really kind of hard to discern anything from logs. I mean, the only thing that stands out, I mean, Jordan did better than, nipped off an engineer. Pablo could have done a little bit better, but it's like, these don't mean anything. Like, honestly, there's only 7 kill difference between the two teams. But 2,000 damage in favor of Irene.
Which may not sound like a lot, but is significant when, that's a sixth of your entire damage.
No, exactly.
It is. Keep in mind, but definitely what you said with Steele, logs on Steele in these quick games really don't matter that much, because you can have teams getting out-fragged, by 15, like 35 to 20, and they still win, if those frags just happen to allow them to pull off at AE, so I don't think looking at stats too big on this one, instead just looking at how the teams are playing the map, really.
One interesting thing I want to point out real quickly is that both medics never died, neither medic died. But it ended up that Wall had 2,000 more heals, roughly 1,500 more heals. So the losing team had more heals, but also had 2 less Ubers during that game. So kind of some interesting stat lines. Also a lot of heals on Ronnie. So heal-heavy team, but AD is going to be starting on offense. They're going to be setting the time this time around. So we'll see what they can do with no barrier, as Faint's getting himself into position. As you said last time, they had a little bit of a convoy on A, but it looks like they're going to be backing out.
I don't mean to devalue the analysis there, but both of Sky's Ubers were pre-game Ubers, so even Ubers
really?
Actually. Yeah, between the 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So Wall had 1 pre-game, I think Sky had 3 between the 2 rounds, so yeah, even Ubers actually. And yeah, interesting that maybe Wall was just playing with her team when they were taking damage more, meaning she was able to get those arrows out and just get more heals, which, is a symptom of kind of not being in favorable positions, taking that damage. So good on her to be able to kind of step up and get the heals across, even if her team wasn't able to find the frags.
And so Jordan has a very aggressive sentry gun here, doing the full-on block. Sorry, it's Billy is up there as well. But the benefit of the pyro being up there is that it can reflect the Bonk scout to some degree, as Dev actually took down 2 on the flank, it looks like. But Benny's going to pick up that frag, but right now, kind of at a standstill, trench warfare, as it looks like we're kind of figuring out how they want to go into this fight.
Something that is a really big weakness of what Irene is doing right now is having so many players up top and having that teleporter sitting open like that. Mad could very easily sneak in past Boars. He's really the only one defending this close. Get in that telly, go in, stab Billy, or stab Jordan, excuse me, take out the gun, maybe get Carson or Billy as a bonus frag, and at that point you have a very easy push. But we do have a bunch of AD trying to move in towards E right now. Dev getting on that spawn door, gonna play close as Pablo's just edging that, getting a decent amount of time on it, and it looks like we may be seeing some players backing off. Actually, yeah,
yep, that's rotation.
Jarrett,
but they're going back already. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but yeah, they were cutting. They were already going there, and then by the time Pablo got off of it, they already rotated back. Speedy did go down to no soldier for this flank play, but it looks like they're gonna rotate over to A. Feint is over on the A point to be able to give a call to his team to let them know what's going on. As Shay wants to go for a drop down frag, but it's not gonna be their Mad Ringme. Oh, he's right by the medic. He's gonna decloak. Will he be able to get it? Mad Ringme gets the stab. That's a drop in the favor of Apollo Dash, and we'll see what they can do with it. The E point is going down. The sentry gun is not set up in a position that can help too much. Gets a little bit with the spawn door, as Pablo is going to be using Bonk to get out and get healed back up. But I feel like you just want to go B at this point. You got the overcharge, you got the advantage. Just go for it and use it. Going for an E push, a cheese, is not the best idea.
Yeah, Feint's going to come in, take out Arts, and really kind of just stall any pushes that AD wants to have. Wall still with Uber, with River and Nipnop in lobby, though. Not sure what they're going to be able to do here. Boar getting a angle on this gun. That thing's got to go down eventually, you have to imagine. Nipnop's only going to have so much metal. No one actually getting E-time either. Mad going for maybe to see if he can find a decloak. Already had that med drop on this life. Trying to get something else, but no real space. Oh, he takes out Speedy as he jumps. Good timing and a little bit better luck as Pablo's going to get back on it, but again, we do see Wall and the rest of the AD combo now finally rotating towards B. Still haven't had to use their Uber. Sky just now coming up on hers, but not really in position to stop it, so the B push is going to work out, but definitely cost them a little bit more time than you would have liked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Sky had quick fix.
Oh, interesting. It's kind of curious maybe to try to be able to get back up a little bit sooner. But the B point will go down in the favor of Apollo Dash, so nice job there. 3 minutes, 34 seconds. That was the entire round last time, but this is looking much more average and not a bad time at all. And Pablo went all the way around to D. He's already got C halfway capped, as it's finally going to be contested. Ronnie J falling in here. Here comes out the Uber charge. You got to imagine, as they do drop Pablo in the process. The Deadman is going out. Finally will come out, but the heavy goes down. It's going to get focused onto River, but for what it's worth, the Wall has just dropped too many and probably will die getting out.
Yeah, Jordan and Speedy went down, but not being able to take that heavy out of the kind of ledge position, really big, especially when your demo is not able to just land that spam in. We see Jared actually on E waiting to kind of catch them, but AD may have pulled off a really good rotate here as they now have a ton of people on E as Pablo gets accidentally launched into the pit. Unfortunate there. Feint coming in, gonna be found out this time. Getting in on Arts, tries to give him the razzle dazzle, but will end up missing as he actually somehow escapes with his life. Benny getting in close on Wall, but gonna be forced out by the gun. Some risky business right there as the rest of Irene has rotated to E, but as that happens, Trigger's gonna get pulled, AD pulling into C. They're gonna have a lot of people on here, and if I'm Irene, I give this up and take a lobby hold.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly kind of the safety precaution that we saw Apollo Dash didn't do on their defense last round. Irene went like, okay, we're going for a C hold. We're getting a little bit worried about E. We're just going to defend E, give up C completely, and just go for a standard hold. So they're already set up onto this final point. Jordan is on mini sentries, so we're not going to see this. And I'm kind of curious to see how we're going to see Apollo Dash. It looks like Wall's going to be working through the choke point here, and what they want to do. They have a level 2 sentry gun up, ready to cover the point, but with Carson in the upper area, Jarrett, this is going to be hard to push out of.
Yeah, I mean, it's called Death Hallway for a reason, as it actually looks like AD is going to rotate all the way back into spawn to head out on that A side. While they have that Uber, I would have liked to have seen the death push, just because, you know, it gives you high ground, even though you're near their spawns. But if you know that they're all alive and you take that 9v9, you can try to manipulate the high ground, get the defense team caught out in a bad situation, especially considering that they're on quick fix. You take a heavy into them, you're gonna lose that fight really hard. Carson's sitting on E with Boar, so Irene's forces are definitely split right now, but pushing into lobby, I don't think is the way to do it.
Well, they don't have a level 3 cinch gun to deal with, so they can get a lot of free ground here early on. They're trying to get the force off onto the enemy medic. Sky does finally pop the quick fix, but it's not going to be enough as they're starting to get the frags. Jared going down, Boar down as well, and so that's a few big picks going up here. Jared actually might catch Sky out as River's going to be running forward. The Pyro's onto the point. Billy Source completely alone from his team finally will go down. It's only 4 players live. Make that 3 for the defense, and they should be continuing to roll on here. That quick fix seemed like a cute idea at the time, but seems to be working against them. They had plenty of time to switch off it, and I got to question them holding on to it.
Yeah, felt kind of like, you know, maybe you go quick fix, you know, right now. Like, here's the moment when Sky respawning may want to go quick fix, and she is still on it to switch off, but when you still haven't even given up B, going quick fix as that kind of emergency, like, band-aid really doesn't do you anything. Wall's actually in a really interesting position. Having been stuck in heaven, River's going to go in on a mission to try to save her. Gonna get blasted into the pit by River. Stalls his own fall, but gets taken up by that shotgun. The lobby pressure from Irene has cleared the point temporarily. AD's gonna get numbers back in. Ronnie gonna try to kill Banny, unable to take him out as Carson took out Wall and River. So the undercover mission finally coming to a close. Quick fix up on the side of Sky, full advantage as Wall just died. And that one pipe's gonna take out both flank members on AD, so really strong play coming out from Irene right now.
Yeah, they are doing everything they can to winning these 1v1s, and the Dumbman's going to get caught out for a polish. More than likely on the point. Art's down to 10 HP. Finally will get taken down as Feint coming in gets a nice backstab onto the other heavy member on the team.
Got blown into the pit immediately afterwards. Feed the pit god.
I would say that's a worth it pick, though. And he also didn't get put on too bad of a respawn wave, only about like 15 seconds. And so this is going to allow those 2 combo members going down, is allowing... we're seeing Irene get set up into the lobby area 5 minutes through the first 3 points. But one of these things, too, where it's like I kind of disagree with them going straight for that E push. I think if they would have done a little bit on D, just like one person on D and the rest going E, would have at least gave them that D point at this. Because it forced Irene to have to come out and everybody committed to E. I don't know. It is, but it's a little bit easy to see in hindsight. I'm kind of curious what they're going to do. But Wall! Oh no, she gets backstabbed by Feint at 70%. And that's just going to make it that much harder for Apollodash now, but they got ×4 on the point.
Yeah, and thankfully they have the little window to kind of see everything going on. Boar's going to take out Dev, though. Hits the kind of, not point blank, but close range shot. Pablo dancing for his life just to try to get as much cap time as possible. Will end up going down as that Irene snake pushes its head out from lobby. But yeah, I definitely think going D, you know, it's not a necessary point to win all the time. But just putting pressure on it can do you so much good, because if you look at where AD is now, they're trying to push into Irene through like the biggest choke in the map. You know, you have 2 narrow chokes with not much space in between coming out at an angle. They're actually going to win this fight, take out Speedy and Carson very close. So some good DM there. Ronnie gets that kill onto Carson. No heavy's going to be big, but they're still getting spammed out here. Wall coming up on 80 Uber. Sky still on that quick fix, not willing to switch off. Kind of the most incredible thing that they've been able to hold this long, Uber versus quick fix. But Pablo's going to get forced off at a sliver of health and still not that much cap time, and AD finally has a path into D. Gonna pop Sky, actually hits a pipe, makes her use that. Uber's going to come out. Uber does beat quick fix, but they're not picking up any kills with it, just forcing them back. D could be a cap if they choose to take it, and it looked like they will.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what they need to do, but Jared is not ready to give it up. He's walking back in here with Billy Source, as well as the heavy as well. Carson getting some decent damage, but Ronnie should get the better of it. No, Boar takes off his head, but the ×3 is still up. Nice job there from the Pyro onto the point, deflecting as much as he can. ×2, ×1, and they get annihilated. All they wanted was to capture a point, but all they found is death. And so now they have a level 2 gun inside of the lobby area as Irene is gonna be running back out here to see what they can do to try to defend this, but Jared should get the better of that engineer play. And now Sky is up to 100%.
Yeah, Ronnie barely escapes with 23 HP, gets that sandwich out, and eat it like his life depends on it. But no, the gun didn't actually go down, so good on Nip not be able to keep that up. He's still not being capped, though. With a lot of cap time, it is fading, so AD's going to need to make a call right now whether or not they want to salvage that or just go into E. Looks like they're going to go with the former, pushing Artston through Cave right now. Mini's going to, go down quickly as we will see Irene kind of trapped in E. More players coming in. Quick Fix gets popped, but with Ronnie sitting right there, they know they can't take that. Oh, Jared's going to go down from full to the reflect pipe, and I don't know if that's a pause or that just crashed the game. But We
That
do
is
have
one
what
of the
looks like a pause right here.
best timed pauses I've casted like so many games. I don't think I've ever had such a beautiful pause. The only thing that'd be better is if the Gibbs were just exploding like mid, like just as it's about to hit
Yeah.
him, just exploding away. But he actually just got annihilated there. But finally they will come down with the D point. But this is kind of the benefit, kind of to before what we were talking about, is when they went for the straight E push rather than splitting for just like 1 or 2 D and then committing 7 to E, 7-8 E. Is that they got this point like almost all the way capped. We're unpaused here, but now they're able to capture this, maybe in just a few seconds here as the HUD's getting a little bit wonky, but Deep will get down. The big thing with this is it denies that E spawn door exit. So now if the enemy team wants to get out onto this E point, they have to walk quite a ways, and Sky's going to get caught out here. And this is looking very good with only 3 players alive, couple of respawns up, but this should be it for Apollo Dash.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, D not necessary, but definitely helpful. Get those little railings up around the point. Not a bad thing either. And yeah, with that happening, getting D means that if the defense is actually holding in the E spawn, they're now shut out from their own spawn. There's really nowhere to go. We saw Jordan, I think, fail his jump to trying to get from heaven kind of around into Wishbone. He fell into the pit. This guy got caught up quickly after, and it looks like this should be a cap coming in. Vanny's going to go down eventually here. Jared and Billy also going down to Ronnie. Feint going to be the next frag. Oh, 4 takes out River. He is close, but Ronnie's moving up. He smells blood in the water. Bomb coming in from Speedy. Going to be launched, but he does take out Wall and he drops her at the very end. I don't think it's going to matter as Carson's the only one alive. Ronnie going to finish off the point with Arts, but not the 11:51, not the time you want against Irene, considering their last offense was about 1/4 of that.
Yeah, that is a pretty brutal time indeed. I mean, especially when you consider that they were probably about like 5. They were really looking to not a terrible time when they captured that C point. I think it was like 5-6 minutes in. If it only took them a couple minutes to get squared away. So this is where the pause happened. It was during the setup time. So we can see Apollo Dash getting set up here on to this B point. But overall, I mean, where do you feel like Apollo Dash went wrong there in their offense, or I guess, do you think they're getting in their heads, or what's going on there?
I think that they had opportunities there. We saw that when they went in on for that kind of early E push, they forced Sky and Jarrett to rotate, but without Mad being in on B, it wasn't called, so they didn't know that they had the opportunity of just fast rotating drop down. They eventually did that, and that's how we saw them get B, but it wasn't fast, and had they, been in drop down while Sky was on E, that would have given them a lot of positioning they could have worked off of. I think Mad should have noticed that the telly was there going up into upper when they had that really strong hold, with the heavy and the gun all sitting upper, which is not meta for a reason, I don't think. Because, either you have the telly and allow yourself to kind of get spied, or, if they get knocked down, there's no way to get back up, and the gun's kind of your safety net there. So, issues there. I don't think they rotated D fast enough. Death Hallway isn't like a totally unviable push, especially when you know that they're 9 up or only like a scout's respawning. It's generally pretty safe, as long as you have people watching the door, so they could have done that, but had to see how they hold B here.
Here we go, Feint going in for the sap. He will get it, and Jared's going to push in here with the overcharge at the same time. That's the risk. The Sense Gun is so close to the lip, you can just jump up as a spy and sap, and you need to place it just a little bit further back, and it would go down. Carson does go down, so as much as they got what they wanted in that exchange, they will get the Delman as well. Jared's going to go down, but he's on a much faster reset. Actually, not that much faster, 10 seconds versus 15, so they will get back up here. But right now, Jordan as well as Speedy are back on that E point. Speedy's not having the pain train, so only a times 1, so not as scary. But right now, AD is looking very good, holding this point. They just need to deal with Speedy right now, but B's looking okay.
Yeah, Dev actually going down there. I didn't see the what, but he's still on a decent long spawn. Ooh.
Ronnie
Speedy
taken down too. Yeah. That was nice.
Yeah, Speedy almost got knocked into the pit by Pablo, it looked like, on E there. So good on them to kind of stop that. Cap time going back down what they want to see. Jordan and Speedy both threatening to get back on it, especially with that mini there. They're actually pulling Arts onto the point just to kind of trap it. Forcing Speedy. He's going to go in from behind. He might catch Wall here if she's not aware. That or Nipnop. Nipnop has that marked for death as the Rescue Ranger, but now Shay executes him. That, though, did make enough room for the rest of Irene to kind of get out of that really annoying choke that you see coming into B. Ronnie in the window, going to get some really good damage onto Jarrett. Uber gets popped defensively. Sky really low. She still doesn't have, I don't know if she used or what, but she's going to go down, and it is a rout for Apollo Dutch. They take down 6 members of Irene.
A wall!
Oh!
Fanny?
He's gonna get her? No, he doesn't. So make that 7 members of Irene without a single one being answered in return.
Fanny, oh, Hadwall dead to rights there, but nice job.
Feint in?
Response.
Feint in?
Oh, he does get the stab and sap. That's actually pretty big, because that's one of the, besides the stairs, the sentry gun is really important to stopping people from walking in through the lower area. So River is really important right now, but also right now is Boar coming in from drop down, getting that body shot. Nobody noticed him, and so there you go. They've been, both snipers been trying that either side. Jared is going to go down to no Deadman for this push. That's not going to matter that much, as Ronnie does pick up one more. So his push might have a chance, but here comes in Speedy from behind. He'll pick up a couple. And there you go. This is going to be a B point in the favor of Irene, but peeling off 3-4 minutes from this first, from that time. Not the worst in the world for Apollo Dash as we get moved into the this next point.
The issue with that, though, is that B is the only, I guess, linear hold on Steele, where, you know, you really only have 1 point to worry about. Yeah, they have the opportunity of going E, but there's kind of a set playbook in order to counter that, which is why you see it happen so rarely. Once B gets capped, the rest of the map really opens up, and it's going to be about Apollo Dodge being able to kind of out-game sense and out-rotate Irene. The Uber's going to come out. Vanny got dropped on it. Jarrett going in for a massive sky bomb as Carson comes in. Gonna take out Arts while still not having Uber. She had gone down there to that drop shot coming out of 4. Ronnie kind of stranded here on point. Gonna do his best to help clean up in this Uber, and it looks like they're taking ground back. Billy's gonna go down, as does Jared. And yeah, even without the Uber there, good job by Apollo Dash to just kind of bait out that push and then collapse afterwards, killing the members that were caught out by on Irene.
Yeah, nice job out of Dev as well. He was above on the upper rock side, doing a decent amount of damage on Team 18, but I think Jarrett got hit by a sticky trap. I think that's what launched him out here. But this is going to stop Irene. They're already going in right now. Mad Ringme is actually in a decent spot if he wants to get a stab out, but it looks like he's going to just slow himself down here. There is a teleporter up on that B side, so that wishbone area is going to be pushed into consistently, as Banny's going to start to push that pressure onto E, and this is, again, is where AD got caught out last time, where they never committed over to that E side, and they're still on C. They're not doing anything. They have literally no one close towards E. Here's Arts is going to be coming in with the supercharge. They're going to go for frags. Jarrett's going to be able to get away. Banny's going to come back out, but oh no, Wall will be sacrificed. Wall lands on two.
She's on the point. No. Tragedy is she managed to avoid getting in the pit, but going on to that island of a point with Banny, not much safer. But excuse me, what was I gonna say?
Yeah, that's the round.
Yeah, pretty much same thing that we saw last time. You know, I feel like there's a lot of dominoes that you need to knock over to cap Steele E, but the very first one is allowing your soldier to get up in heaven. Speedy's done a fantastic job of getting there both halves, and AD really hasn't bothered to stop him. That and with the overcommittals to C, you know, you can't. It's not always a safe bet to try to contest C without the, or E, excuse me, without the ramps with Uber from Wishbone. You want to be doing that either from E or from lobby, and they just, you know, AD feels like just ignored lobby the entire time and hoped they could pull it out, but 2-0, we're going to end up seeing Irene go up a map moving into Lakeside.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it right there. I mean, well, if they are going to go, they did have that Uber advantage, but the problem is they went for a solo demo man Uber in Wishbone. Like, if you're going to go for a solo demo man Uber, and they're all right there, they're all so close, put it on your Pyro. You know, put it on a Scout, but I think the Pyro would have been an amazing, just WM1, burn through everybody. They're right there, right? You need to get the frags, because that's really what that Uber is about. You need to clean up the frags. They had the advantage. You get the frags, then you clean up the point. But what happened is that the Delium was trying to chase Jarrett, who they didn't even kill, and that overextended all of them, allowing them to be collapsed upon afterwards. But you can see the inverse of that. Irene, what did they do? They basically gave up the C point after they started to see that E point contested, and they ended up getting a really good defense off because of that. But AD fallen into the same trap twice. So here we go into Lakeside, which will be a best of 5. But looking into the logs here real quick, what's jumping out at you right away?
Actually, let me go pull them up real quick. Yeah, I mean, with this being a bit of a longer half, I think the logs have a lot more stock to kind of put in them here.
Well, and yeah, I mean, just the first thing that jumps out at me is 100 kills to 101. That game was right there with each other. Both teams' DM was holding up with each other. It just comes down to tactics that really kind of left them falling apart.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what I think is interesting too is that if you just look at the kill differentials, you know, because while over a long game, obviously, you know, the difference between kills becomes a little less meaningful. When you think about it as kind of a 1-for-1, like if one person dies and someone else dies, if you think about those differentials as advantages, the defense team always had about 10 more kills than the offense. except that AD needed 64 kills to win, whereas Irene only needed 27, and we kind of see that reflected in the time differences. They're just playing faster, they're rotating better, and I mean, I think if you're AD, you have to know you have weaker DM coming into this, right? Like, you know, you have at least, I mean, going into this, you were expecting Habib, so you have, what, 2 Froyo starters? I think Boar is a sub and plays for them in sevens, you know. Jarrett, still very accomplished invite demo man. You know, nothing against Apollodosh, obviously. They've secured 3rd place and placement in their first season in RGL. But, like, these players just have more experience than you. They've spent more time in MGE servers than you. They're going to win those 1v1s, so you need to come up with ways to dodge that, play as a team, and have smarter strategies where you're out-rotating them, you're out-thinking them, you're catching them, you know, you're catching them out. And we've seen Apollodosh do that to higher ranked teams. We saw them get extremely close with K&D, just kind of capitalizing off their mistakes and through the aggression that they can bring. But it just feels like they were, I don't know, they weren't prepared, and they didn't. It almost felt like it was Apollodosh not respecting Irene here, as they're just sitting on C, thinking that, you know, they're just not going to take E. Like, you know, who are you to think that?
Well, that's the thing that surprises me is, like, you know, you had that downtime. This is what you want to talk about. Is like, hey guys, they captured E. We're sitting on C. What can we do to stop that? And what happened in the second round? They did the exact same thing, and they got punished in the exact same way. Like, AD deserved to lose that map. If you lose the exact same way in a very preventable way twice in a row, you know, the first time, like, you get caught off guard, like, that happens to all of us. But if you lose the exact same way 2 times in a row, like, come on. Like, this is, you guys are top level players. Like, if you, this is the semifinals, you want to get to the grand finals, you want to get that cash money, you know, we need to see them step up. But I was playing these guys earlier today on Lakeside, and they were looking pretty good. They have this kind of, like, the big thing here is that Arts tends to get very aggressive with their team. The other thing that I really like about AD, as we get onto this map, is that playing against them is they do a really good job of, like, when one person's getting aggressive, they get multiple people aggressive, but not from the same angle. And so, you know, it really looked good for them, and I'm curious how that's going to work out here for them, though. The big thing they're going to have to worry about, though, I feel like, is Irene is on Boar. You know, you're going to have to deal with Boar all game. I mean, Shay, no slouch, great sniper. And I definitely think he'll be able to keep toe-to-toe with Boar, but still, it's Boar. I don't want to play against him on this map. These sightlines are crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess one of the few good things is that the way Lakeside does work out is that, yeah, you have big angles, but you either force the sniper to play alone on bats, where he's vulnerable to a spy, or with his combo, where he's more vulnerable to spam. So, you know, there are ways to work around it. And one thing that I am hearing is that Dev was having pretty bad connection issues, it seems like, throughout that entire last match, so he will be kind of stepping out here, and I believe Apollodosh is looking for a ringer. Yeah, it seems Nipnop's lagging too, and they're looking, you know, just kind of see their options, see if anyone's available that could, you know, maybe not have those issues coming in. But I mean, I do think that, especially with Dev leaving, that's definitely a big loss for AD. He was having a, you know, a decent enough round on Steele, but I think him and Pablo have some really good synergy. And while it wasn't a match that got casted, when they played Faction, I believe was on week 3 on Lakeside, that was kind of the first time where they really surprised people, made an upset, took down Faction 4-2, who were heavily favored to win. And most notable in that was Dev finished something like 50-20 against Dongus, who had been seen as the better soldier, finishing like 20-50 against them. So I think ever since then, it kind of got established that Pablo and Dev were very good at controlling Bathhouse, and that was one of the things I was really looking forward to seeing on this map. Is, you know, I'd been expecting that Habib would be playing, but even with Speedy, you know, Banny and Speedy aren't like huge flank partners. You know, they're both very skilled, individually skilled and experienced players, but on a Highlander map like Lakeside, where you have, you know, minis coming in and pyros maybe flitting in and out, that experience that Pablo and Dev have of playing together and managing to secure that ground was one of the advantages I was looking to see them have, and it would really be unfortunate if they lost that.
Yeah. So we'll see what they can do here. Is we're waiting for the last one to get onto AD, but, you know, as I said, we definitely seemed like Irene had their number in that last round, but this is AD's map. This is their pick. And so I'm very curious to see what they'll be able to do with this. The other interesting thing is that, you know, Wall's been doing really solid on Medic, actually having like more assists than Sky, and they've been keeping up in terms of kills, and Wall even getting a little bit more heals. So I'm wondering if we'll see that have a little bit more of an advantage on a map like Koth, where obviously the heals and damage is a little bit more direct with each other versus like Steele, where it's just like positioning rotates are a lot more important.
Yeah, quality over quantity a lot of the times on Steele. That one,
Exactly.
you can see a heavy go 20-1, but if that one death was when he was defending Ian, he needed to be alive. That could be the the death that loses his team the game. So yeah, I do think that Lakeside plays to their team style as well, because it's a map where all of the classes are allowed to get aggressive. It's not like a product where your heavy sitting on cliff, your pyro's sitting in pocket, your NG's kind of sitting in main or on concrete, and it's really up to like the scout, demo, and sniper to make that ground, with soldier kind of coming in as well. And I think those kind of all-in aggressive plays are what really makes AD shine, when they're able to just say, all right, Shay or Mad got a pick, we're taking this 9v8, and it doesn't matter that that's Banny and Jarrett there. We're just gonna run in. And yeah, we might trade, but hey, if we trade 8 for 8, we end up with a point. And they're not afraid to take those kind of fights. So again, really looking forward to seeing that. And I hope that whatever's going on with their roster still leaves them pretty well intact. Although Dev is back in here. Looks like his ping has gone down, and Rivers now has shot up instead. So no rest for the worry, it would seem. Jarrett also sitting at 200 ping, so it might be an ISP, might be a server. We're not sure.
Yeah, hopefully those will come down in time here, as we are sitting in the semifinal game. This is Apollo Dash versus Irene. It was a 10-week season, grueling, long one, ending up with 6 teams. The top 4 teams went into the playoffs. Last week, it was Apollo Dash versus Fast Forward. Apollo Dash is actually the 4th ranked seed. Only had 13 points in total the entire season, compared to Fast Forward, which is at about 20 points. Irene at about 24, close to. So a pretty big difference there, but Apollo Dash had the big upset last week, taking out Fast Forward, and now onto this semifinal match. And the winner will take on K&D next week in the grand finals. And looking pretty forward to that. I mean, kind of looking at both these teams, I mean, let's just assume that Irene carries on here, as they are the favorites, but Apollo Dash absolutely would love to see an upset, as, who doesn't love an underdog? But looking on to next week, Alto, you've been casting these guys all season long. Do you kind of have a favorite of who you think is going to take the championships next week?
I think I have to lean towards K&D. The first time we saw K&D and Irene play each other was on Cascade. K&D was missing a couple players. They, Cascade's one of their weak points, and they let the map get to that in what I guess was either just a mistake or some lazy map drafting. But and after that, everyone, it was kind of Irene's turn in the spotlight. It was, oh, they just 4-0'd K&D. They're gonna take the season by storm. Then K&D comes back with their full roster on Upward in like week 8 or something, or week 6, and just blows Irene out of the water. Like 2 5-minute caps back to back. Irene never really having a chance to even take a half there. And I think that with those roster changes and with the way K&D's been playing so far, I have to lean towards them.
Yeah, it is. I definitely would feel that way as well, but we'll see how that happens. I'm looking forward to that next week as well. Jared, currently they're just having some internet issues, so Dumbman Jarrett for Irene is restarting his router. The fun of having online finals. When are we going to do a LAN? You want to come out to a LAN? Be good.
Yeah, let's get a Tampa LAN, so I don't have to fly out now.
I that is something I've seriously talked about. That is something that I don't think, obviously, maybe 2019. I think there's a serious possibility of a LAN happening at the very least. Maybe a small one, not like a full-on one, but just like having the playoff teams or something like that. I don't know if we'll do Highlander. That'll be a little bit harder than ProLand or something like that, getting everybody out there. But still, it definitely is something that I think would be a lot of fun. When I went to the GXL LAN, we had all the Highlander people out there. But I will see. You guys want to fly out to Milwaukee? That's where I'd have it. It's currently the places I'm looking at. Talking about land talk, this is what we do. We talk about the future, but something we kind of have coming up here soon is, a lot of people have been asking, Season 2 registrations will be opening up very, very soon. Probably later this week, we'll be opening up Season 2 registrations for, because that's going to start on January 7th, I believe, is the date that Season 2 of Highlander is going on. In the meantime, on December 15th, registration will be opening up as well for the Experimental Cup, a 2-day tournament over the weekend on a Saturday and Sunday. You play 3 games just for fun. We're trying out 3 different maps, and it's looking to be pretty interesting. Have you heard about that at all?
Yeah, I saw it in the Discord a little bit. I saw that my my shining star, the joy of my life, Vanguard's going to be in there. But what are the other maps, just for both
Oh, now
myself
you're, now
and
you're gonna have
everyone
to make me
watching?
look it up. I know there's one of each. I think it's Vanguard,
Probably
uh,
synthetic would be my guess on the
synthetic,
Koth, and
yeah,
then
synthetic, and then what was the
Millstone.
payload?
I think would it be Millstone? I
Yeah,
know.
it was Millstone. I'm pretty sure it was Millstone because we are trying that out. Because we're trying to not be a league that forces maps into into the league. If they're not good. So we're trying to do. The idea is that we want to give the. We're all about community and having positive voices in the community being able to step up and be able to have that conversation together. And so that's one of the things is that we're hosting this tournament in order to try to get teams to come out and play and have fun, play a few games, but then also more importantly give us your opinions. It's like, is this map good, is this bad, is it almost there, can we work with the map maker to get where it needs to be, that kind of an idea. And maybe we'll come out of it with there's just no maps and it's just some fun, but we learned and we're going to move on to the next season and we'll try something else like that. But that is definitely something that should be interesting. We haven't done that a lot with the Pro Lander side of things. We tend to just do normal 1-day cups where we'll try like maybe one map. But this 2-day cup for Highlander, I'm very curious to see. But I'm just also just excited to see, as it's just meant to be a platform for the community to be able to have a conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been involved with map testing ever since way back in season 12, and that was on Vanguard B7 and a version of Barn Blitz that thankfully I think only 18 people in the world have ever seen. Well,
Yeah.
I guess what it would be 20, considering that it was the two teams that played at the map maker, and I think it was Kumori that set that up. So that was interesting, something that I'll never forget, despite how much I've tried. But yeah, no, I mean, it helps you feel like you're part of the community, especially when you see changes that you talked about implemented in a map and then played out, and just kind of getting involved and saying, well, I like new maps, so I want to get my word in, since and you don't have to be in a high div to discuss maps and bring up valid points about how the game should be played. So really a good way to kind of get involved in the community, maybe talk to some people who I guess are a little more experienced than you, get your name out even, and just have fun with it and participate more so than just playing.
The other nice thing too is that we will be having forums coming soon, as well. These are all exciting things that should be happening basically this week. Those are pretty much wrapped up, ready to go. We're just doing some final touches on it, so you'll have a place to be able to discuss. It's also a nice place just to be able to hang out, talk to the community. It's nice to be able to have a forums where toxicity won't be allowed and given a platform to be able to be discussed. No one, I don't know if I ever want to be on a forum where no one ever gets banned for all the stupid shit that people say. So I'm looking forward to being able to give the RGL community, which has been pretty good, so far coming over here. You also have the Discord if you guys haven't joined that. You got the HL Discord, and you got the ProLander Discord, which we're at 1,800 people, almost 1,900. So we've been growing up there. If you guys want to check that out, people have been asking. I'm reading. You guys can ask some questions in chat as we're just kind of shooting the breeze here. If you want to ask us questions or whatever, what doesn't even have to be TF2 related. I'll just keep it just interesting. But I see that I got my boy Proki. Proki? I always forget how to say it. I think it's Proki. Asking about EU Season 1 when for Highlander. As we're going into Season 3 in February. And for EU Highlander, that's definitely something that we're potentially interested in. The big thing is getting the team's interested in it, wanting to commit to us, and then also getting the leadership behind it, getting like proper admins and stuff like that. We don't want to go into a country that's established, and like not, like basically like kind of come in there haphazardly and like nothing really happens from it. Like if we're gonna go into the EU for Highlander, we want to make sure that we have the EU's desire for us to be there, and potentially even come there with a prize pool as well for Highlander, depending on how some stuff shakes out. So that would definitely be interesting. What is your favorite color, Elto?
I'm a big fan of the color yellow. Definitely underrepresented in the world of favorite colors, but it's bright and cheery, and I like it. It fills my life with joy. I guess to kind of expand on that as well, I want to touch back on the EU thing, just as what you were saying. You don't want to go into it haphazardly. When RGL Highlander started in NA, there was enough discontent with UGC and the state of Highlander having been pretty stagnant for a while, at least in terms of an administration status that, you know, all the top teams were ready to completely
Very
hop
ready.
ship and say, and when the question, you know, kind of got brought up, it's like, would you be willing to play in a new league? It was like, yes, get me out. Whereas, you know, I don't, from my experience playing in ETF2L, it's handled a lot better, even if I'm still not a fan of the stock Badwater, you know. That's
They love it. They love it. Can't get rid of it.
That's a preference. That's a preference. I'll allow it to pass, but you know, the admins over there do a decent enough job that I don't know if the sentiment is for total rebellion yet.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out there and just keep a discussion open to go on with that. Somebody's asking about if there's a Sixes League in RGL. We have no plans, I mean, to expand anything beyond Prolander and Highlander. So the way that we're working this coming season is that we're going to be alternating the seasons. So it's going to be Highlander and no Prolander, and then Prolander and no Highlander. So basically, from the start of January until like November, basically, there's going to be almost no weeks without some sort of competitive TF2 happening. So it'll be really awesome that people can, if they want to get into competitive, they no longer have to, like, and they do it in the middle of a season, they have to be like, oh, I have to wait for this season to be done and then a break before I can try it out. Whether you want to try Prolander or Highlander, it'll be a great chance to be able to get in and to do that. So, you know, once the Highlander season's done, boom, you got a Prolander season ready to go. And to be able to play that. So we're not looking to add in any more formats at the time, just to kind of keep things simple. And also we just want to keep the popular formats, which was actually kind of crazy that Highlanders currently has reclaimed its throne as the largest competitive format.
Other than, of
TF2.
course, UGC, or not UGC, but RGL 4v4s, which will be running constant year long and will have $50,000 prize pools for all.
Dude, people love 4v4. I don't get it. Every time I play
it's the most pure game mode. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is just
it's just at its essential form, you know. It's what
it's the perfect amount
be.
of, like, it doesn't really matter, so we don't have to care, but if you do care, you still get really intense games.
I know. I believe that you could have any game mode and you get really intense games and people will like it. But I think it's a question of, like, how many people will, like, get it. You know, does it just latch on? Can people just play it, pick it up, and enjoy it? And I don't know. Every time I played it, I just felt like just too DM heavy. I mean, to me, TF2 is about the classes and it's about the objective based game modes. And so whenever you have a format which is not friendly to having classes be a part of it, or not friendly to
that's why we play Payload Race.
Yes, that is what. Oh my God, that actually was a thing back in the day, and you just
don't forget about Payload Race.
We get to play a game. We get to play a game.
I gotta shield Payload Race hysteria, where the meta is to run no medic and just have a heavy sit on the card because it's always rolling back. But yeah, no, we're finally live, as it looks like there haven't actually been any roster changes. I don't think. So Habib get in the server temporarily, but it looks like that was just a bait.
Yeah, I think Jared just need to get their internet fixed. Everybody's internet is looking okay except for Nipnop on Engineer, but here comes in Speedy. He's going all the way back to behind the scenes on the balcony. As Carson pushing forward, getting a nice 2K to open this up. As Matt, he's going to be picking up a nice 2K himself, taking down the demo as well as the heavy. And so we'll see if that can open it up, but with about 5 players up for AD, they do control pool right now. But it looks like anybody else who was forward decided to back out, and so Irene should come down with this point, as Apollodosh is going to give up pool to re-engage.
Yeah, luckily Walt did get out, but with her not having healed as she ran back to spawn, there is going to be a pretty decent ad on the side of Sky, so they'll have that Uber before AD can push at all, really. Sky coming up now, Walt only hitting about 90. They're getting aggressive. Jarrett getting some damage, and Banny really aggressive. Gonna take out Pablo. Speedy is the trade frag. Shay finding the headshot. I know both teams have Uber in this 8v8. Have to see what they do. Jarrett going down, there's got to be a huge frag that I'm looking to see them capitalize off of.
Yeah, and they actually, now AD should be able to move into pool with no soldier to be able to defend this. They're going to get a lot of capture time onto the point. Here comes out the Uber charge. It's going to be focused onto Banny. Giving nice flashes onto AD, keeping the Pyro as well as the demo alive. But Nipnop will go down to no engineer here for a little bit. With that mini sentry up to cover the point, they should be able to hold on to Sky. Oh, nice job there from Billy Soros, doing great reflex to keep Sky's damage away from her. And Shay is down right now. No sniper for another 10 seconds, so Irene should be able to get aggressive off that.
Yeah, still another 10 seconds on Dev too. Shay just spawning now. We will see Captain coming across already. Banny doing a good job getting on that. Boar's gonna snipe out Mad, actually, taking up the spy himself. Feint going down as well, but yeah, lots of cap time coming in. Board taking out Ronnie is going to be really big. That heavy's a great frag to get when you are trying to push the points. The Obelisk can be such an issue to kind of force him off of, and they will come down with the cap right now. Shay going down again, Speedy going deep in on bats. Will get taken out by Dev, but got the kill his team needed to take the point, so definitely worth it there.
Yeah, 100% coming up for both these teams. They're not going to wait for it. They drop Pablo in the process, and losing that scout might hurt them out a little bit. Uber is going to be out 30% better for Irene, as the red side's just going to be backing off here. Banny running forward. Boar inside of the pool, gets the headshot onto wall. But that's not going to stop the red team from trying to push forward. They're getting some capture time. It's just Billy forward for the team, but with Ronnie sitting on the point, they're going to have to back up. Jarrett is trying to do what he can, but the ×2 should hold forward, but no, Jordan, he's going to do what he can. Finally does go down. 80 captures the point, but with losing Arts, yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to hold on to this for too long. Dev running in, he's going to get taken out, and 80's actually not looking too bad right now.
Yeah, no, the way the point captures ended up working well because Wall was on that short spawn and they capped right after she came up, so not too much loss there, although there will still be an ad in AD's favor. But taking out Carson, you know, getting that heavy on defense has proven pretty much to end up being an eventual cap for whatever team does it. Shay going down, though, means that AD will be free to walk forward. Boar gets taken out just in reverse, though. Jarrett gonna get knocked back, but Feint comes in and takes out Ronnie as well, proving why he was once the best spy in the game, opening up that, kind of getting that med condition. But no, Sky's gonna go down. Arts landed spam on her, and Matt is able to finish her off with a big kill. So 95% Uber going down, Wall still alive, coming up on Uber herself right now. The cap will, it look like, go in favor. No, the Uber's gonna get popped out. Carson goes down, although the point does go across. Billy doing his best to stall Pablo there. Hits the air blast and stalls it, but yeah, no, we will be seeing a cap here. And with that, Sky not, actually, no, coming back in, so not too bad on the spawns. No one's, excuse me, cap's not really going in their favor, though. Bandy's gonna get forward, take out Dev. Jarrett goes down, though. That should be the cap coming in from AD after a pretty hectic exchange of Ubers.
Yeah, actually, that was a nice job by Carson earlier on to get the force off onto AD, but everything's now even as Boar's going to get a nice body shot there onto Shay. So no sniper here for 15 seconds for the defending team. Here comes Speedy from behind. Wall down so incredibly low. She's finally going to get taken out onto an 18-second respawn. ×1 onto the point. Mad is going to go in for a little bit of a curious thing. And here we go. Suicide wave in for AD. They're trying to get a spam onto the enemy team. They will defend this point. Here comes in the bomb onto Sky. Great reflex coming in from Billy Soar. Sky going down to about 50 HP, but no one's able to clean her up. Oh, the engineer Nip-Nop gets the force. The engineer saving the day. We'll get the force off, and so now, while we'll have only a slight ad, but it'll be enough for them to feel a little bit comfortable to get back onto the point as a minute left on the clock for Irene.
Yeah, really good decision making right there by AD to just realize, hey, our med went down. Just bot in here. Doesn't matter if we all die, as Mad's gonna go and take out Jarrett. Speedy goes down as well. So that's 3 down on the defensive side, both explosive classes, meaning Carson, so the only one who could really defend this. He's nowhere to be found, though, I don't think. He's on steps now. Actually, just took a telly, it looks like. But, yeah, Banny's going to get forced off. Cap going back in favor, and this round is a lot closer. Lakeside really showing out to be why it's AD's map here.
Yeah, they're currently down by about 20 seconds, but with even Ubers, they're not looking in too bad of shape. Currently no board here for the offense as well. Billy's trying to get himself in position, ×2 on the point as Banny's just kind of peeking it. The spy will go down, trying to get a backstab for Irene. And right now, this is looking very good. Speedy going to get popped back up. Overcharge finally will get used from either side, about even, really, truly, as Banny getting flashed in onto this. So it should be a little bit better for right here. Banny going all the way around. Will get the kill onto the heavy. Trades out his life, but as you said before, the heavy frag here should help them out. Carson working across, but we'll see what Irene can do in this extended fight.
Yeah, Speedy found Shay there as well, and again, it feels like this heavy is the domino that leads to capping, but even with that said, there's only 15 seconds on the clock left for AD. Both meds got out, so they're going to be even. Ubers are probably going to come in just during overtime, but no, Speedy goes in deep and finds Wall, so it's going to have to be a dry push without heals.
And Boar gets taken out by, like, cross-map, 10 HP by the spy from his own back with the revolver. So that's going to open up here for AD to go across the point. No sniper.
Tragic. Pablo gonna get a little bit of cap time in here, just enough to push it into overtime. Sky only sitting at 85. Ideally, they find a kill onto her before she gets, but no one's really in position to do that. Banny and Carson on point, doing a great job of defending this. Uber will come out, and it's going to be the first round going in the favor of Irene, but that was a really close round.
Very close. I mean, I think if they got the kill on Carson, that they did like 1 or 2 frags in their favor, and that definitely could have been able to take that back. So Irene on blue will be coming out here as they're currently leading up 1-0 onto this next one. Jarrett very early out here onto this, but he's going to wait to get those heals back up as Pablo working up. Speedy way up in the skybox is going to just decide to back himself back up as AD controls the pool, but Shay down early on from Boar.
Yeah, Jordan's going to be the trade frag. Feint going in, trying to get some damage off. Won't find anything. But no, Boar's going to go down to Mad. Banny going down as well to Pablo on that flank. That flank synergy really coming in handy. Dev in deep behind. Maybe looking to come in on Sky as she's backing out. Not able to find any damage on her as she's forced into the corner. But the pressure is enough to force Irene back. And it looks like this mid's going to go in AD's favor.
Yeah, AD looking so good.
Oh, Sky trapped in the...
She will not be able to get out. Nice job. Banny's going to try to get anything, but no. River as well as Mad. Mad actually is going to get the butter knife onto the one and only. But actually the Pyro's going to go down. Boar getting a nice headshot as River was trying to get out there. But the point does go in the favor of AD. Their classes are getting back forward. Shay should go down. No, Feint was spotted just in time to be able to keep himself alive. And so about even Ubers, a little bit better for AD, but Banny's starting to get some cap time.
Yeah, and going for cap time, I'm not sure that Ronnie went down, so he may be kind of pushing that a little too early. Most of AD, yeah, holding in bathhouse, we haven't seen yet, but definitely a hold they're familiar with from having scrimmed against them this weekend. It's not the most difficult to hold to break, and we're seeing Irene do a good job of just getting people on point and kind of saying, all right, well, you can hold bathhouse, we're going to hold the point. And yeah, the point goes across really with no one dying. It was only Dev and Carson that went down. Mad's going to take out Sky again, though. Not sure what her percent was at, but just gets taken out in the back line. I think that was a solo kill on her with a revolver. Art's going to go down, Pablo as well. So Wall has Uber here, and she should be looking to use to try to save this. Gets caught out in bat, though. Really awkward positioning for her. And with this Uber on there, not able to cap the point. Mini goes down. Dev's going to get in the corner, but Carson sniffs him out. Going to force him even further into enemy territory. But he forces him right onto Boar, and he takes him out right as he dies. Carson, though, a rock on this point, not allowing it to be capped. Spam damage coming in, but the rest of his team surrounds him, and it's just going to force AD to back off without getting the cap.
Yeah, but Jared is out. Currently 9 players alive here for the offense. They're going to just start to press on to this point. Boar's just getting back to the front line now, but with no sniper and no demo, that should be an easy take for Lakeside. We'll see if they can get anything more. Carson goes down. Sky again. Arts. His spam damage on Lakeside is so annoying and so good as he gets a nice pick there. And right now, AD's looking in control in this round.
Yeah, no, that was just I still feel like they had no reason to give up that point. They could have just used out of bathhouse, taken it into Irene, especially after Sky died to Mad there. I thought they would have had ad, but ended up giving up a minute on the clock. But, Wall's still sitting on full ad against Sky, so not the worst case scenario. This aggression coming out of Irene is probably just to try to force the Uber out. Hopefully those Sky's going to be able to save her life. And Shay's going to get body shot to try to dodge the roller and gets taken out. Mad stabbing Jarrett, though, means this push is not going to be as strong as it could be. Whoa! Stab! Feint comes in with the drop, so no Uber means that Irene can now try to take this if they choose. No heals, the spam's going to stick. Unfortunately, no demo in for them yet. Ronnie's going to go down. There's that crucial heavy pick, and it looks like they're going to move in off that, take the point back as AD's hitting just about a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, Irene was all down solo. Mad going in for a stab, not able to find it there. But yeah, Irene was taking so much damage on that far side, but unfortunately, no one was there for AD to clean up. No downline, no soldier. And so that teleport's going to go down. Spencer should go down as well. The poor engineer buildings. And so right now, Sky, though, the big note here, 100% overcharge, about 70% advantage. Feint will go down. And so we'll see what they want to do. But Boar sitting up on point, ready to take out anybody's head that he sees. But overcharge, what? Used very aggressively here, and we'll see if they can get anything with it.
Yeah, Wall is in spawn right now, it looks like. Not sure what that was. Shay just gone down too, so she couldn't have been in a sightline. Looks like she's decently high health, so I don't know if that was a force or just a finger slipped or what, but it's gonna end up as the times are about even with Wall sitting on near full ad. AD is going to be moving up under bats right now. Shay getting angles, trying to take things. Mad finds another key pick here. Takes out that demo man. No spam damage to defend the point. Should be a great help to them as it looks like they're looking to move back in here. Art's getting aggressive, going to start off this time. But where is Boar? He's climbing the right wall. trying to get an awkward angle just to catch him out. Bandy's going to go down. Shay gets taken out. Mad gets that heavy kill. Cap's going to go in AD's favor here. Speedy's in the very back trying to take out Dev, but not going to find it. And AD Caps, crucially without having to use their Uber.
Yeah, very, very key there. Spain dropping in. Oof, he gets spotted out there. Nice pipe there coming out from Arts as Mad is being chased down on the balcony. He'll actually be able to keep his life. Boar in a very curious spot back above spawn. He's going to rotate around as Irene coming out through main. Flooding out actually is Jared going actually through pool. Looks like they're going to go for a full pool push here as Jordan used that Wrangler to spam people off the point. Banny going around the corner, as well as with Speedy getting a decent amount of damage onto the enemy team. 100% for either team, but who's going to pop first?
It will be Irene popping first here. Uber's going to come out. Lots of flashes coming out on red right now. Shay and Boar both going down almost simultaneously, so good on them. Arts gets dropped, though, caught out of position in this Uber. Ronnie doing his best to try to shoot Speedy, takes him out, but the cap time is going heavily in Irene's favor. 14 seconds left on the clock as Irene takes it back. Frags are even right now. Wall and Shay, or Wall and Sky, excuse me, about even Ubers.
Ooh.
But Boar going down should open that up. Lots of players down on the Irene side with with those longer spawns. AD's rightfully got a dry rush, or excuse me, bum rush at this point. Dry pushing it, no Uber. River just botting forward, gonna force them out, get that cap time started, reflecting the flares even. This guy takes a little bit of damage and backs up, but Dev behind on Bads doing a great job of distracting, making Carson look the other way, and it's enough for Arts to land stickies on him. Banny really close, gonna go down. Mad finds another stab onto Jared. Speedy takes out Wall, but right as overtime comes in, not quite. AD's gonna take the Sky has Uber though, so with Wall not spawning for another 3 seconds, this is as close as it can get.
They need to get a force off onto Sky or something, but here comes out the Uber charge. It should onto Billy Sources to solo, onto the Pyro. How much W? Oh no! She dropped the Pyro! The only person she needed to heal got dropped. That's brutal. And there you go, 1-1 as AD. That was a much better round, a little bit closer than what it should have been, but very solid for AD as they tied up.
I mean, it's unfortunate because they didn't have any cap time, so she had to take off the Uber just to get,
oh, that's true.
Just
that's
like
true.
a millisecond of cap time, but, it's kind of a lose-lose there. You keep it on, and yeah, Pyro doesn't die, but you still lose the round, so unfortunate there.
No,
but
that makes complete sense, as, Faint's going to get taken out here early on in this mid. Mad's in a good position, should get a backstab on Boar, won't be able to get it, but right now, pool control in the favor of Irene.
Yeah, no, Frags on actually, maybe not. Sky really low. AD's surging back into this. They're going to get a bunch of frags here. Come in, and this mid will be there. Sky getting out with 60 HP, it looks like. No! Pablo chased her all the way out, almost into her own spawn, and took her out. So AD really finding their groove here on Lakeside. Gonna win, I think, their third mid in a row, and be sitting on full ad right now.
Also, I want to, just looking at the logs here real quick, Mad Ring Me top fragging through the first 2 rounds. 20 frags. So Spy doing absolute work here as Speedy's going to go down inside that pool area, going to make it just that much easier to continue to hold on to this. Irene is starting to get themselves out here, but a sizable advantage in the favor of AD. We'll see how they want to continue to hold on to this as Faint's getting himself into position. Jared walking up here, but right now AD's exactly where they want to be, except for that.
Yeah, Shay not going to want to get stabbed there. Should start opening up the kind of pointing aggressors. Art's going down too, not good. If you're on the side of Apollo Dev going down means that's 3 frags, really only for Faint. Uber's going to get popped aggressively here. Pablo going in, knowing they have advantage over Sky, is going to chase her deep, but no, he gets air blasted, misses the jump, and she kites it out. Mad, now the next one to kind of step up, but he's going to get taken out. Cap will go into Irene's favor here, and Sky's going to be sitting on a near full ad, so tables have turned, but AD's gotten a minute off the clock, and we're going to have to see if they can pull it back here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the ones where we haven't really seen AD have to push into a full Uber advantage. It's only happened the once. Speedy a little bit too aggressive on that far hand side, and so no soldier to be able to defend the pool area. So we'll see if AD's going to be able to do anything with that. But it looks like AD's just going to start to walk up here. They're going to probably get caught out. River, no, doing a great job reflecting them back, stuffing that Uber, but Wall has to be careful of Banny, who's back. Heads up onto them. Stepping up huge here. Down Uber, doesn't matter. They come down with the point.
guess.
That does miss the backstab there onto Carson, so that's gonna make it a little bit easier. Right now, also Banny as well as Speedy control the blue room, and they're going for a wrap right now. Wall at 90% will pop that overcharge just in time. Running forward with Pablo as well as with Arts, but Billy doing a great job reflecting back, and here comes in Speedy going to the skybox. Not able to find too much, but does get some damage down, but Irene has such better health, they should come down with this point.
Speedy got popped up there and kind of cooked the 3 damage chip shot, but yeah, lots of kills right now. Wall's gonna get taken out by Jordan of all people, going down there, and the point will go back into Irene's favor. Again, we kind of see this minute by minute, I guess a leapfrog. And now with a minute left on AD's time, it felt like the past 3 rounds we've seen AD hold for a minute, cap, or hold for a minute, lose it, then cap again, getting down to 1 minute. We're gonna have to see if they can repeat the last one. Shay going down though, not gonna help. Feint in another position to go right back in for another stab. Already aggressively decloaking, gets in on Ronnie, is gonna get called though. Good job by River, takes him out. Dev going down though, not gonna help this push anymore. Really aggressive by Banny, getting on AD's steps there to chase out Arts, gonna pistol him down. And with Sky still sitting on Uber, and this many people drop, they're not going to be able to force out that Uber like they wanted. Ronnie, though, chooses the right time to go in to take out Carson. Boar going down as well. So, frags coming into AD's favor eventually. Too many people lost them maybe to really capitalize on it, but they're still going to try.
Well, the thing is, you know, just a reminder to anybody who's not familiar with the Koth game mode, as Supercharge will come out here onto Jared. River doing a great job blasting it back, is that when you trade with the enemy team, and you don't control the point, you have faster respawn, so it works out in your favor. That's why you're seeing AD be able to get so aggressive here. They're trying to get onto this point, but nice job by Irene pushing them back. Finally, will be able to do this. Feint gets called out, trying to get a backstab. Finally, AD will come down with the point, but at what sacrifice? Losing Arts as well as Ronnie, but the overcharge will come out. Chasing forward, trying to get onto Sky, who only has 30%, going down to 2 HP. Does get finally taken down there by Pablo. Will they be able to get back out alive? Yes, they will, but they are going to lose a point in the process, so... that will at least give them a nice advantage here, though, to come down with the point to be able to re-push this with about a 20-second advantage.
Yeah, really chaotic plays there. I didn't think they were going to be that aggressive. I was figuring that Irene would be able to take a better Uber into them, considering Wall didn't have yet, and then they take a kind of another weak Uber, I guess, right back. They did get Sky, but they dropped enough players that they lost the point. So definitely some trades going on. Dev and Ronnie both going down in short order. Feint really kind of warming up as this game's gone on. It feels like Shay taking out Boar, definitely a pick that can't be underestimated, as Art's going to start getting spam in. One of the mids just faked the call. Neither of them are really that close though. Shay getting taken out by Feint in return gonna means that no snipers up right now. Carson moving really aggro across that far side, getting in on Obelisk, gets some spam out, will go down though. Kind of got baited by his team. Pablo getting that cap time, and with 10 seconds left, this is gonna be another round coming down to the wire. Spam out from Arts. He's gonna crater as the Uber comes out from Sky. Wall still he'll have the better Uber here, taking River and Ronnie across point. Looks like they're gonna come down with the cap once this fades. Vanny in on point, gonna take out Ronnie actually. Oh no, Jared, River, oh, this is not looking good for them. Dev comes and gets the frags. Matt takes out Jared. Carson now really the only one left to contest this. He's gonna get forced out. Point coming in. Feint misses the stab, gets it the second time, and we are in absolute bedlam as Speedy's gonna come in for a bomb. Doesn't get any kills, but Sky and Billy both go down to the same pipe. Art's absolutely popping off as Speedy goes in for another bomb, but he's gonna kill himself. Carson goes down, Banny's feeding in, and the buffet continues as Irene, I guess, hit the panic switch and lose all their players. They'll have one more attempt at this, but Wall's sitting on 75, so if this stalls a little bit, they'll have Uber and they win here.
Oh no, here we go, final, no, It's not gonna be enough. River does a great job blasting them back, but Irene's got to be kicking themselves right there. All they needed to do was back up, push together, but none of them killed the mini sentry inside of that pool area, and that was really one of the ways that helped clinch it after they finally came down with the points. So as we come out here, 2-1 in the favor of AD. This is match point for them, and they've been doing a great job on the mid fights. We'll see if that continues. As Speedy jump in and on the wall. No, he's going to go back to the bats once again, and Carson very aggressive on the point, but here comes in Speedy coming back, gets the kill onto Wall, and so the Uber advantage is going to be decisively in the favor of Irene.
Yeah, just, again, really good bomb out of him there, kind of doing what he couldn't do in the overtime fight of that last round. We see Dev going in big, tries to get Sky, gets her down to sub 50, but will get taken out there. So Sky's going to be sitting on a comfortable ad. Nipnop still holding Bath on his own. It's a little bit cheeky onto the enemy ruins, but will be forced back, and now with, you know, a sizable dis-ad after the mid-fight, we're going to have to see how AD responds to this, because this is a position they've never been in before. Vor gets the headshot onto Shay. Speedy and Feint are both really aggro. Dev's going to go down. Mad gets caught out by Carson, and it looks like Irene's really trying to focus in here, not wanting to drop this map and bring it to upward.
Yeah, so here we go. Right now, they don't have any pool presence. All the flank players are just getting back up for AD, as Art's completely alone, not even by his medic. Is just a great job, Irene. They're playing so aggressive on that far-hand side. It's not allowing Wall to be able to get the heals that he wants, and Feint picking up a stab on to Ronnie, that's Shay. So no sniper here for a little bit longer for AD, and Irene. Hyper-aggressive playstyle is working out in their favor, and I kind of wonder if AD should be maybe rotating a little bit to pool to help out in that way, or what they need to do to be able to pick this up, as they do get a couple frags banning Jordan, so no, it's 2 flank players down for Irene.
Yeah, we see that minute pass that AD was never able to get off of the mid-fight. Art's going to get aggro, but just gets taken down. Vor getting counter-sniped by Shay, finally able to find a pick. Have to imagine if they're going to try to push up this without their demo man. Looks like they are. Jordan and Banny just respawn. Feint and Bor are still down. River's getting really aggro on that right side as cap time starts coming in. Wall gets super aggressive with Pablo. They're going to use here. We will be seeing a trade as AD definitely has the point presence. Ronnie going down though, definitely not what they wanted. Carson moving in, gonna put his foot on the point, try to deny this. Art's back in, getting spam, but River's gonna go down. Pablo already down. Wall surrounded, will go down as well. Jordan and Carson both on the other side of the map. And it looks like Irene's gonna continue to hold on to this one.
Yeah, just unfortunate. I think the couple of the flank players playing in pool just need to rotate to point to help just get a little bit more damage onto Irene. They might have been able to turn that around, but on its own, just a great flash just also out of Sky, keeping Ronnie alive in a heavy, not Ronnie, keeping Carson alive in a heavy 1v1. So right now, Irene is yet to lose this point. Only 53 seconds left in the clock, ticking in their favor. Pablo edging the point, which is exactly what you want to do, as Irene's not even really contesting this too much, and so AD will come out down with this point for free. No, finally, Irene will come back, and they're getting the frags as well. 4 players down for AD.
Yeah, Carson doing a really good job of waiting until the very end of the point, you know, kind of getting capped just to step forward and just having a huge impact. It feels like ever since this round started, Ronnie's been dying frequently, while Carson I don't think has died once even, maybe twice this round. So those heavies really proving to be a key class on Lakeside, and Carson proving why he's one of the best heavies in this game right now.
And so Arts is working forward for his team, but he has no heals, no help, and they're punishing him for it. He does go down, and losing Delman early in the fight is going to be that much harder. 5 seconds left in the clock. Irene Jordan all the way across. Here comes out the overcharge. It's going to pick up one, but what else can he get? The Pyro running forward. But here we go. It's going to be much better for the blue side, about 70%. And now River's going to come back onto this point, but Jarrett not able to get too much with that solo Uber. Here comes in back. The soldier goes down. They're still getting some frags. Jarrett forward for his team. They should be able to come down with this. Irene doing everything they can. Carson up on Obelisk with Jarrett. Ronnie's going to might be able to get the better of this, but they will come down with the point. But how much will they lose in the process?
Yeah, Carson now in. Oh, Shay hits the headshot, stopping him from doing any more damage. We'll actually see. Oh, it's another shot onto Banny. As he tries to get in, gonna deny that and kind of give us a moment or so to breathe here, as AD now has to embark on the difficult task of holding this point for 3 minutes straight.
So right now, Irene working their way back up to the point. About even Ubers for both teams. Jarrett, going down to half HP. They're nice pipes out of Arts, pushing him back, forcing him to get re-healed up. And currently no sniper for the defense, and so that's gonna Irene get aggressive. But right now they lost pool control. Banny running straight in on the wall. Gets it down kind of low, and here we go. Ubercharge is going to be out for both teams. A little bit better for the red side, not much, as the flashing happened. Billy's disconnecting them, but actually River's going to get the better of that Pyro 1v1 they ever loved. But still, pool control in the favor of Irene, and here we go, jumping in. The soldier he gets denied, and the frags are going in the favor of AD, so it looks like they're going to hold on to this.
Yeah, Carson did go down though. Ronnie's still alive. Mad finds those stabs of Jared he was getting in the rounds that they won. Shay's gonna go down on the backside, but it looks like it's enough for now, as AD is now held onto the point for 1 minute and 20 seconds. It's coming up on. Wall sitting on a pretty solid ad over Sky, so I mean they're basically halfway there. They can just do what they did, you know, for the past minute and a half one more time. They'll end up pushing Irene to the third map here, but it's a much harder much easier said than done, as Irene's just swarming the point. They have 99% of the cap time, and they're just gonna take it just like that.
Yeah. just as Matt did get the backstab onto the medic. So padding the stats, though, not helping it out. And there we go. This is match point for it all. If Irene wins it, they're going to win this and go on to the grand finals. If AD wins this, they will go on to a third map.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping we see the AD that we kind of saw at the second and third round and at the end of that one, since that beginning looked really bleak for them. If they'd been able to pull that out a little better, would have been much better. Speedy misses his rocket jump, though, going to be stuck on bats at 24 HP. Shay knows he's there. He's just going to run over and no-scope him. So a bit of a mishap there means that Shay's going to survive that bomb and immediately takes out Boar. And that's what happens. You're not able to shut that man down. Ronnie moving on to point with the sniper being clear. Mad's gonna get a Spicicle popped by Billy, but baits him into dying, so that's as good as a pick as you can get, and it's gonna be the mid coming in for AD. Shay, though, with his kind of borrowed time, takes Skye out as she's backing out too. So full add-in on the side of AD, and they are looking poised to take this to map 3 if they can keep this up.
AD looking very good. I mean, we needed to see the individual players step up, and Shay is doing that in kind early on here, so right now, Irene does control pool as we come into our second pause of the night. So very curious. This pause happened in the middle. We are at the very start. So this the pause happens 90 seconds in the future because of the STV delay. But I'm very curious. I'm going to pull up the logs here for the first 2 rounds, just because I want to see what the heck is going on. So initially, Mad Ringme was top fragging. He had 20 frags through the first 2 rounds. Now through 4 rounds, the top fragger is Banny with 36 frags. Shay right behind him at 34, actually beating out Board by just a couple. But interestingly enough, this is actually kind of crazy stat line I'm going to drop here. Shay out-fragging Boar, but almost twice as many deaths. That's crazy. That's a really crazy stat line right there.
It's something actually that we've seen out of him in the past, where we've seen games where he's tied the other sniper in frags, but just not been able to stay alive, where, he'll run in, get a frag, and then die, whereas the other sniper, doesn't get a kill during that time, it feels like, as we do unpause. But, he's just not able to stay alive and kind of contribute that constant pressure, and I feel like it's been one of the few things holding him back from really being thought of as, like, one of the, a really top-tier sniper. Jared, though, gonna take a lot of damage, goes down, Art's landing the sticky. Speedy going in for a bit of a close bomb, not gonna find anything, and gets out. AD has transitioned into holding in Bath right now. Wall in there, sitting on that full ad that she's had, as I think we're going to need to HUD reload here to kind of get those Uber percentages back charging. Yeah, 51% for Skye right now, it looks like. And building as ADs, or Irene, excuse me, just going to move to the far side of the point. Carson fighting Ronnie on his own side of the map. He's going to lose. Dev landing the rockets, and Ronnie using the tree and dispenser as cover enough to win that 1v1, despite having way less health. And, AD has rotated out of Bath, and they're sitting pretty here. Skye just probably coming up on Uber now.
Yeah, and right now she's down to half HP. Hasn't popped Uber yet, and a couple players going down early on in this fight for Irene. But it's just Banny really forward for the team. The Pyro goes down as well, so it's just Carson and Banny onto the point. Can they defend this alone? Pablo going all the way around. Should be able to get no. Skye just pops barely in time, as Carson also was in 1-hit range, but Ronnie's still forward for his team. He's finally will go down, and now Wall, oh no. Oh, she's going to get caught out. That was... She wanted to stay there to heal Arts, but just left herself in no man's land and went down. And so it's not going to be a huge disad thanks to the fast respawns of not controlling the point, but still great position for AD, close to Uber charge, and they're up currently at minute 20. So we'll see how they want to play this right now, as they're just respawning coming out through main.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how once they got a single pick onto Boar last time, they were able to recap pretty quickly. So Pablo's going to get aggressive right now, going to maybe help Mad cross. I'm not really sure. He's kind of stalling out in that full ammo kit. Going to move across now. Feint does get caught out by Dev, trying to find that soldier pick. But no, Mad actually gets SMG'd across point, so no spies for either team. Speedy's going to go in and take out Shay, denying that sniper, but Boar pretty close to the action, getting forced off. Lives with only 8 HP. Ronnie and Pablo both going down, though, means that this push is not going to be going well for AD. Wall gets forced back. Arts goes down. It was a valiant effort, but it feels like you got to commit a little more, at least get an advantage before you really go in like that.
And so now Wall coming up to 100% here, about 20% down. Mad getting himself into position, as finally the combo class is getting back up. Irene getting ready to cross the threshold into the lead in this final round. Shay opening up an early pick onto Bandy. Boar going down as well, so no sniper, as Mad got a nice backstab there and that should open up Dev trying to push through the pool side as getting onto the point they are. Here comes out the overcharge. Pablo getting a little bit disconnected, a little bit better for the blue side. Carson pushing up on the obelisk. He's going to run into 1v1, but Carson is going to lose it. Or sorry, he's going to win it, but lose right afterwards. Times 4 onto the point. They should come down with this, but are they going to lose too many players? You know, Pablo's not going to chase, but Dev is going behind. He's going to actually decide to back out, keep his life. But that was a solid Uber v Uber.
Don't speak too soon. No, Dev does get out, just barely as he actually dropped down. Feint in on Bad. It's going to look for something here. Going over to Bad. Maybe try to pick on Dev again, something he's been doing very frequently. Speedy gets stabbed, though. Feint going in. Dev's going to smell him out this time. So Frag's into AD's favor right now. Ronnie back in, able to kind of get in there. Carson goes down, but he's traded out with Ards. So no demo and heavy up for either team. But Wall gets sniped out by Boar. Where is he? He's in Bath. He's going to take her out. He's going to take out Shay and Ronnie. 3 shots, 3 kills. Nipnop and Pablo are doing their best to defend this, but it's going to be a cap coming in for Irene as it ends up being a 9-man wipe for AD. Dev just being the first one down, so he's the first one up.
Yeah, Boar on a 5K. I'm not sure if all 5 of those frags are from just that moment, but but Boar goes down early here. Shay picking up a nice headshot. This should open it up right now, but Sky does have 100% Uber to defend this. But Feint's going to go on to Shay. Dev's going to... Trying to work onto the point AD is, but here comes out the overcharge. Jarrett, though, a river, beautiful blocks, pushing them back, but Banny's still going forward. And onto Wall, but can he get it? He's beefing. He's not able to land the shots. Finally, Wall getting pistoled down. Banny's still alive somehow. How did he do this? How does he survive that? What the heck is going wrong with AD? And that man just might have won this game. Banny alone. How did he do that?
That was what, 3 pistol clips, I think? I mean, at that point, if I'm Wall, you just take out your saw and just go for it. Like, no one else is hitting him, so you gotta. Ronnie's doing his best to try to get that. Matt's gonna find that clutch pick onto Jarrett. Keeps getting at crucial moments. Wall is gonna be back in soon. On that quick fix, Cap's gonna go into AD's favor, it looks like, as Ronnie moving forward has a bit of a fight with Carson Alba's backs off. And now we're looking at this quick fix. Ronnie goes down, spelling bad news. Speedy in onto Wall. Gonna get skyboxed by River. Fantastic plays. Mad found 2 more kills and still hasn't even gone down. Banny's gonna try to bot in for Wall again, but used up all of his magic that last time. Mad going in as well, doesn't find anything, but Wall's coming up on this quick fix, and it's important to note that the quick fix cannot block point captures. So they're gonna need to use this Uber aggressively. The regular Uber comes out from Irene right now. Pablo doing a great job of blocking the cap since this combo can't. Frags are being traded back and forth. Jordan, Nipnop, Arts down, River down, Billy down. That's Pablo and Wall. Looks like it's coming out into Irene's favor as it's only Matt and Ronnie up right now, and they're not able to do it. And it's going to be Irene taking it into the finals with a 3-2 win on Lakeside.
Wow, absolutely insane. AD giving everything they got in that final round. In this map alone, looking fantastic throughout. A few mistakes, but just shows you how close they are and how good of a team they really are. I'm curious to look at these logs as both these teams just playing their hearts out here. And God, they were so close. I think honestly, Mad went for a little bit. He had the nice 2 stabs there to open it up, and I thought AD was going to have a chance to defend it. But unfortunately, just weren't able to find it there at the end. But Boar coming out on top at the end. 46 frags right behind him is Banny, followed up by Shay at 42, and Mad Ringme still doing work, almost double fragging over Feint. So Mad really doing everything he can to keep his medic. And I've played against Mad. He's annoying to play against because he is so damn good. But I also want to point out one thing. Shay died almost 40 times, 38 deaths, 15 deaths to Feint alone. Feint had his number. I can only imagine how much Shay kept up with Boar despite dying almost 2 times as much. I can only imagine what this game would have looked like if Shay was able to be kept alive a little bit more.
Yeah, Shay had 15 deaths to Feint, 14 to Boar, 7 to Speedy. The other 6 classes killed him a combined 2 times, 1 from Banny and 1 from Jarrett. So, I mean, if he had been protected, that would have been really good to see. And again, you were bringing up Mad, what I think is kind of in contrast to Shay, is that not only did he have those 37 frags coming forth overall, he only had 25 deaths, which is, right in the middle of the scoreboard in terms of deaths, which, as a spy, is really solid. Mm-hmm. So, just really good play out of him, and I was expecting Feint to have a much bigger impact this game, and expecting Mad to have, not nearly as big as he did. So good on him, I guess, really able to show up when he needed it. Unfortunately, again, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, one of the other interesting stat lines is that it's we always kind of like to look at like the overall damage, and the damage difference between these two teams is not a lot. It's only about 2,400. But there's almost a 23 kill difference, which is a lot for that little of a difference. 23 kill difference, and that just kind of tells you that the damage that was being done to Irene was just being healed up a little bit more. They weren't maybe a little bit less focus fire coming out overall. But I mean, you really can't fault either team. I mean, there was definitely some misplays from one moment to the next from both sides. Maybe just a couple more moments for AD in the final couple rounds, with Wall getting killed by Banny there alone, and then with when Wall got caught out. But I mean, it's just those are plays that just happen. That's not even like really like an insult to anybody, because this was just such a fantastic game for the semifinals. It looks like we got some people brought in here.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing interviews right now, and we've got from the victorious Irene, we've got Sky, Jared, and Speedy in here. So say hello to the stream, guys.
Hello.
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 All right, yeah. So congratulations on the victory. That was a really close match coming down right to the end. So I guess to start things off, since Sig and I were both kind of curious about it, what led you guys to pick Steele? Since obviously, I think based off of your play on it, it was a right decision, but just kind of looking at it from an outside perspective, you guys had a forfeit win on it in the regular season, so you hadn't really played it, and then when you see it getting first pick, that definitely made us scratch our heads a little bit. So I guess what was kind of the reasoning behind that? Was it just good scrims, or?
I felt that we were just smart enough, and Jarrett's main calling would be smart enough and good enough for us to smooth roll by on that map. That was about it.
We scrimmed them on Steele during Steele Week, even though we didn't have a match, and we did way better than expected. I think we hard held them on B or something. So we were like, all right, we're just going to pick this against these guys if we ever play them.
Yeah, I think when we need to be coordinated, we can do it very well, and so Steele was fine.
I think every Steele scrim in the regular season went really well, so it was just from that.
All right,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, I'm assuming that kind of plays into the product ban as well, since that was the other thing, since, you're thinking, all right, well, you have Boar, you have Jarrett, you have Banny, that seems like the ideal product map, but...
It's the only map that we didn't scrim with this current roster, because it was week 1, so there's never an incentive to really play it.
Gotcha. Since,
So-
we had noticed that you guys have been banning it, but
We
never had the full...
Yeah, we'd be playing catch-up if we picked that.
Fair
Alright.
enough. Yeah, and so coming into this season, you guys have, you just barely missed out on getting that first place seed, and then today's match, did it kind of catch you off guard how close it was against AD, or were you kind of expecting that, at least on Lakeside, that they were able to put up such a fight?
I thought they improved a lot, so I was definitely expecting them to get a few rounds on Koth.
Yeah,
I
is there
thought
any...
it'd be close,
go ahead, sorry.
but not as close as it was. I didn't think it'd be down to the wire 3-2, because when it was 2-2 there, we were actually not in the lead on cap time. I think we had 2 minutes left and they had 1 minute left, so we were about to lose that. So I think we expected some sort of resistance, but I mean, we picked it because I guess we didn't pick it, but we expected going into it that we'd still be able to win, but we didn't think it'd be that close. I think we were just a little out of sync is all, and we go into the match with expectations on how we think they're gonna play and what's the best way for us to counter that while also staying true to our own style. And I think our expectations were not what we thought they were, so we were thrown for a loop a little bit and had to figure out what exactly we were doing wrong and what we need to tweak in the middle of the match, which is kind of scary when there's no halftime. So you really got to make sure you do it correct the first time before you lose.
Yeah, AD is definitely a team where it's kind of really hard to, I guess, pin down their style. They're feels like they're just always pushing on you, and regardless of how you play, they're going to find some kind of opening and just squeeze their way in there. And even if it means they get a single kill, they trade 8 for 8 and win the fight with one guy remaining on the point. So I guess kind of playing off of that, then I guess what's been your perspective, I guess, on AD as a team, and how you mentioned how they had improved. We saw them kind of have a close game with you guys in the very beginning of the season, way back on Borneo, and then they had another close game with K&D, kind of fell off a bit, and now they're coming back in playoffs. I guess just how has the season been overall? Just the first season of RGL, just in terms of teams improving, the double round robin, the map bans, whatnot. What have been your guys' thoughts on it?
I think I think in the beginning they were a team that was like maybe only like they have some strong maps and the rest of the maps they have to play catch up on in terms of like competing against other teams, and that can attribute to like how good they do in certain matches. But I feel like now they are much more in sync. I feel like in the beginning of the season playing against them, it was a lot of one person committing and the rest of the team not on the same page, and then it accidentally turns into a feed. But come this match, they were pretty coordinated, I'd say. A lot of the times fights were taken with multiple people, and they weren't really like one person trying to go into 4 people for a hero play or anything like that. So I would definitely say it's a pretty good improvement, because I feel like at the beginning of the season people expected them to get 4th, but they didn't get 4th.
I'm kind of curious, for you guys, we had a long season here. It was about 10 weeks, so you guys obviously had some buys inside of Invite. Did you guys like having the longer season, or was it like a little bit too long, or where do you kind of fall on that? And how did you guys improve as a team using that extra time to be able to come together?
I feel like for this team especially, having the 10 weeks or like the longer season overall was definitely good for us because we were like a newer team, and I was adjusting like roster and people the entire season. And so by like week 8, I feel like we finally actually figured what we wanted to do. So I think it was fine overall.
It
I
also
enjoyed it.
syncs up with the EACA season, which is
Yeah.
why it's nice for us, because it syncs up with the start of the season and with playoffs. So everything matches up, and it, the amount we have to practice kind of matches up too.
It didn't feel too long to where it was annoying, but it was just enough time for like a team like us to get used to everything.
I agree. I think it played slightly into our favor, or at least any team that was newer.
And so one kind of the final question I have to ask you guys is just kind of, I always like to think about Spirit, is who would you give kudos to, props to on the other team? Who do you think played well on AD today, and deserves a shout out, that kind of stepped up in the game?
I'd say Arts and Mad and
I
River.
agree. I think
River denied all Ubers.
Yeah.
Played
River,
well.
River.
yeah,
River kinda
it's
rolled me
definitely
a few
those 3.
times.
River air blasted me all the way on the other side of the map multiple times to where I was completely useless for multiple seconds. Mad got tons and tons of picks and weren't able to shut him down because he was able to definitely find openings nonstop. And Arts, I think, has definitely improved the most out of any of their players from week 1 to now. I think he was one of the players that at the beginning of the season was getting shut down a lot on his team because he wasn't in sync with the rest of his team, but now he's putting out like a lot of damage and not dying, and he's playing really well. So I definitely give props to all those 3 for definitely attributing to how close the match was in particular.
It definitely looked good today. I mean, AD besides Steele, like, they looked a little bit challenging. But also, it looks like we got one more question we want to give before we let these guys go.
Yeah, and just, since we do have the grand finals, doing jazz hands that you can't see next week, yeah, I mean, you did mention how you felt like the team really came into form week 8, which was after that, pretty stinging loss, I'd say, to K&D on Upward after, they kind of completed their own, I guess, reformation, I guess you could say, after the week they kind of struggled with as well. So, just going into that, I mean, you guys are 1-1 in the season so far. So how are you feeling about that? Feeling good? Think it's going to be close? Think that the changes you guys made are going to be enough to kind of overcome what they showed the last time you guys played? Or
I feel like they have their maps and we have ours, but I feel like we have the potential to beat them on any map. It's been a little rough though on some. I want to talk about that, Jarrett.
I think
Upward especially.
I think who wins next Monday is 100% going to be based on what the teams decide to pick and ban. Like, I think it's going to be decided right then. And that's not to say that like the drafting war that we're going to do is like going to be really good. Like, after it's done, people know for sure who's going to win. But it's just like, I think both teams kind of have to like kind of simulate the maps in their head and maybe go back to like the one scrim that we did in previous weeks to like imagine how we would stack up, which is hard because we both went through like some roster changes and hiccups. So it's like there's inconsistencies there, and we both have to try to like make the best decision as like, all right, what's the best map and what's our worst map? And then also what maps are we better at than them? and take those two things in consideration and just try to pick and ban based off that. And whichever team does a better job at trying to analyze that, I think, and getting the better pool will ultimately win next week. And that's pretty much it. Because otherwise, I think I don't think our teams are that far apart in skill level where it's like, oh yeah, this team is the favorite. Like I don't.
Yeah, it's just us trying to figure out what to do on specific maps.
And them doing the same thing, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Well,
So-
I'm looking forward to that definitely next Monday. It'll be pretty big game, but I think we'll leave it there. Let's do some real quick shout outs. We'll go down the line. Sky, any shouts you want to give?
Shout out to my team, Velocity. And yeah, that's it.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to Jarrett.
Shout out to all the substitutes that subbed on our roster the entire season, because I'm pretty sure over half of our matches were played with people that were not on our starting roster. So kudos to them for stepping up and helping us get through the regular season.
B.
Shout out to Zagron, Ender, and Habib, and Bor.
Nice. I would like to give a shout. We're going to do some casting of Prolander tomorrow night, so make sure you guys check that out. And shout out to also everybody at RGL and my boy Dolphin behind the scenes. Give him a heart in chat for doing camera work as always. But I'll let you get the last shout out and take us out.
All right, yeah. I guess shout out to everyone who stuck with the cast this far. Shout out to RGL just for having Highlander be a thing, kind of a big risk to take, but I think it's been a really fun season that I've gotten to see it from a third-person perspective this entire time. But there's been some great matches, and just glad that we've been able to have such a good season coming in next week. With I guess this was kind of the expected match at the beginning of the season, but we've definitely had more than enough excitement over the course of it to really make it feel justified and earned. So yeah, it should be me and Vox next week coming in, and hope to see you guys there.